What's up, YouTube? I'm Corey, and welcome to my channel, Let's Talk with Corey. But before I get into today's reaction video, wherever you are in the world today, I mean wherever you are in the world today, I really do hope you're having a great day. Let me pause and give a shout out to my subscribers. Whether you've been with me since day one or you're checking in for the very first time, thank you for your support. And to my followers on Facebook, thank you guys for your support as well. Teen flash mob hits Six Flags Over Georgia and erupts into chaos. What the hell's going on? Let's talk, guys. So, guys, for some reason, this is nothing new that when you have young kids somehow communicating with each other, probably through social media, about what's going on around town. In this particular case, Six Flags Over Georgia was opening weekend. So a lot of people know about opening weekend. Obviously, a lot of teens knew about it. How do they communicate again? Maybe through social media, but also knowing that that would probably be the place to be. Now, the sad part about this is that kids that are there going to Six Flags Over Georgia to have a good time, their good time is interrupted by those teens that are there to create chaos and get into criminal mischief. And that's what happened. And unfortunately, a 15-year-old was critically wounded. Now, I don't know if this 15-year-old was shooting at law enforcement or not. Apparently, from what I read, there was supposedly a weapon found next to the 15-year-old. Oh, hey, who knows, okay? All right, but it's neither here or there. What I want to touch on is, guys, is this becoming a problem around the country? Six Flags Over Georgia being in Georgia, and then you have stuff that's been going on in Chicago. And guys, I'm going to show some clips on also not only Chicago, but guys, is this a thing? And if it's a thing, what is law enforcement and community leadership and local government ready to do to curb this bad behavior amongst young people? And then let's also insert, parents into this. When you allow your kids to go somewhere, you expect them to behave themselves in a certain manner. I mean, I'm a parent. My kids are young adults now, but we had expectations for them. And I'm sure some of you who are watching this video feel the same way. It's a generation thing. A lot of us grew up in different times. And yeah, we all had our little stories to tell and got into some things. 'Tis true. But 500-600 kids just running wild, fighting, shooting, all of this nonsense is absolutely unacceptable, especially in the public, period. We're talking about, it shouldn't go on anywhere, but especially in public where public safety is at an all-time high right now. People want to be safe wherever they go. And when they're going to a theme park for fun, last thing they expect is to be surrounded by hundreds and hundreds of teens fighting and getting into criminal mischief. And then lastly, shooting at cops right outside the property. I think that's just ridiculous. But guys, check out some of these news clips.
And panic on opening day at Six Flags Over Georgia after officials say 500 to 600 people ran through the park fighting. This all led to an exchange of gunfire right outside of the property that sent at least one person to the hospital. Thanks so much for joining us on this very busy Saturday night. I'm Eric Perry. This all unfolding just after 6 this evening. Fox 5's Joy Dukes is live for us. Joy, all right, you've been working this scene. We see the crime tape and the roller coaster behind you. Walk us through what you're learning.
Yeah, Eric, good evening to you. Just absolute chaos, as you mentioned there, erupted here near Six Flags earlier this evening, where GBI officials say they are investigating an officer-involved shooting that left one person with a gunshot wound. Now, this all started, as you mentioned earlier there, when Six Flags Park security say that they were met with an unruly crowd of about 500 or 600 people here inside the park that were running through the property and fighting fighting. They contacted Cobb County officers for backup. While officers were trying to get that crowd of people off of the property, they say those individuals fired at officers who then fired shots back, hitting one person. And that person was taken to the hospital for treatment. We're told no officers were injured, but a vehicle was damaged. Videos of the incident have been circulating online. They show a herd of park goers stampeding out of the park property, just trying to get to safety at the sound of those gunshots. Park officials said there were no shots fired on park property and that the shooting itself took place on South Service Road, which is obviously just a few hundred feet from what you can see here, park property. But they say that the culprits seem to be underage kids. In a statement from a spokesperson, they said, quote, "Our goal is to provide safe, fun entertainment. It is incredibly disappointing that our community is disrupted at public events throughout the region by groups of underage youth."
Yeah, that's more than dancing, and they're more than disturbances. Easter Sunday, the second massive incident in less than a week with hundreds of teens crowding streets downtown. There were 12 arrested for committing crime. So we sent CBS 2's Tara Molina out to ask, why do these mobs keep happening?
I'm told these aren't just disturbances or crowds of teens with nowhere to go. They're diversions. Hundreds of teens show up. A few of them commit crimes. Hundreds of teens crowded streets in River North Sunday, some blocking streets and running through traffic as far as Lakeshore Drive. We saw some groups police ordered to move along.
If you do not disclose, you will be arrested.
But we're told our cameras only captured part of the story.
There's a lot of violence that's associated with these large groups that it really isn't reported.
These are more than mass meetups, according to the Ward 2 alderman.
People are getting hurt, they're being struck, punched in the face, older people are being pushed to the ground, purses are being stolen, bags and parcels are being grabbed out of people's hands.
Alderman Brian Hopkins answering the why with what he says is the true purpose of the large crowds of teens we've seen twice now in less than a week, starting with social media.
Some of the organizers on social media are doing this intentionally. They're trying to get large groups together so they can hide behind these groups and commit these criminal acts. We're seeing retail theft in particular spikes during these incidents because the police are spread thin, the store security are spread thin. They're trying to handle the large crowds, so they basically turn their back on the merchandise, and then the next thing you know, tremendous amounts of merchandise are going right out the door.
He says he found dozens of anti-theft devices removed and left in Seneca Park off the Mag Mile after the crowds rolled through, and says he confirmed this information with police. So what's being done to put an end to it? Chicago police told me they will not put up with abusive behavior. Hopkins told me they're ramping up patrols and cracking down.
We are going to start making arrests when we see criminal acts occur. There's just no more looking the other way.
The alderman and Chicago police tell us so far the teens that have been arrested have been released to their parents. We've been here all night and we have seen a police presence that's supposedly going to be ramped up throughout the city.
Okay, guys, you saw the news clips. You're seeing what Chicago is saying, what their local government is willing to do. I mean, guys, the last thing you want is to have your kids put on curfews because of simple stuff like refusing to behave themselves. I mean, there are places where curfews exist. You heard about the Miami thing, and that's for basically college students and young adults who are over the age of 21. They're basically saying, hey, Miami, they trying to shut it down and incorporate curfews and all that stuff to cut down on the crime and criminal mischief and all of the, just the unnecessary stuff that's been happening over the years. But guys, you leave a comment. What's your thoughts about what's happening with these teen flash mobs that are just like, it is nothing new. I showed you guys a video from 2019. It's 2024. Okay? Now it's Georgia. Who's going to be next? Or should anybody be next? But as always, guys, thanks for the pull up. Hit that subscribe button. And as always, let's talk with Corey. Let's talk with Corey out.